So I told you my wife and I are new parents, right? We're brand new parents, and so this is all new to us. So every time we have a good parenting day, that's when you do everything right. Change the diaper on time, none of it gets on your hands, you don't have to change your shirt. Then we celebrate. And one day we had a great parenting day. And we didn't wait for society to celebrate us, because society doesn't like to celebrate good parents. We only like to highlight the bad ones. So we took it upon ourselves. And normally, how we celebrate is we go to a bar, grab a couple drinks, you know? But you can't take a baby into a bar in Portland, because it's not as progressive as everybody thinks it is. So we had to settle for a coffee shop. So we go to the neighborhood coffee shop. We grab a cup of coffee. We ball out. It's the top of the line coffee. It's got foam on the top. They drew pictures in it. It was amazing. We grab our coffee. We sit down. We take a sip of this wonderful coffee. And as soon as we're done with our sip, our baby starts crying. He starts crying really at the top of his lungs because he's hungry. He still breastfeeds. And my wife was like, all right, I'll go into the bathroom. And I was like, for what? She's like, to feed him. I was like, you're gonna feed our kid in a dirty public bathroom? Hell no. Are you serious? We had a great parenting day. I don't think so. You're gonna feed him right here. You guys feed, and I'm gonna cheer you guys on. Chug, chug, chug. And my wife looked at me and she goes, well, some people might feel uncomfortable in here if they see me breastfeeding right here in the coffee shop. And I was like, well, that's why they were born with motherfucking eyelids, right? You can just close those shits and the problem's over. Nobody's getting up from this table. We worked too hard to get to this table. Fuck that. It was so weird. I was so mad, and she wasn't at all. I was like, man, this is America. This is terrible. And she was like, this is what life is like. It was the craziest thing. It was like we were getting pulled over with the roles reversed. It was so nuts. So, like, she started feeding him, right? And, like, within seconds, this couple gets up, comes straight for us, and they are pissed off. Well, the dude wasn't. The husband wasn't pissed off at all. He looked like he didn't really have a dog in the fight. He was just like, yeah, she has a car key, so whatever she says is cool. But the lady was pissed off. She was super pissed off, which confused the hell out of me, right? Because she's a woman, too, right? She has breasts. Like, you've never wanted to just air those out in public? Like, that's nuts. If I saw a dude whip his balls out, if nobody called the cops after 30 seconds, I would have been like, what's your secret? How can I do what you're doing right now? But she was pissed off. She was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. How dare you do this in a public place and all this different stuff. And I was so proud of my wife because I've never seen concentration like this before. She was cradling the baby with this arm and then giving the lady the talk to the hand motion with the other arm. She looked like a Heisman Trophy. It was the most amazing thing. I was like, oh, goodness. And she kept going back and forth. I could tell my wife was getting annoyed. And I was like, tap me in. And she tapped me in, and I was like, ma'am, we bought these cups of coffee, okay? The table was included in the price. So until we're done with our coffee, you're on our fucking property right now. You need to get the hell out of here. And the lady fires back at me, well, I don't know how good of a kid this is gonna be if his mom's just willing to whip out her boob everywhere in public. And my wife teared up. Everybody in the coffee shop got real embarrassed, started looking down at their coffee cups. And I was like, Nathan, you need to take control of this situation right now. You're a comedian, just use your training, okay? Just say something so absurd that everybody forgets what they were talking about. So after she said that, I slammed on the table and I go, you know what? If I knew this baby was gonna be this much trouble, I would have aborted him a long time ago. I didn't mean it. I had a job to do, okay? And it got the job done. They stopped talking about whatever they were talking about. And the lady was so livid. She was like, how can you say that in front of the kid? You never say that. And then I got super confused. I didn't know how to argue with her. How do you argue with somebody who's on both sides of the argument? But you want the baby here, but you don't want to see the baby eat? What kind of bullshit is that? How does that work? You willing to watch a baby starve to death? How are you better than me right now? So the manager came over, I'm assuming because I rose my voice. Because when a black dude screams in public, it changes the situation. I don't know if anybody knew that. Did you know that? Situation in public goes from, oh, they're having an argument, to this is a safety issue now. We need to call somebody. So they leave, feeling victorious, no doubt. We finished feeding our kid, but the damage had already been done. Our coffee got cold. It was ruined. The coffee we spent all that hard-earned money that we worked so hard on our good parenting day to get was ruined. And I know she went home and she called her best friend and she was talking about, I shut down another breastfeeding today. It was amazing. And it made me so upset, man. I didn't sleep that night. I was so mad at this lady. All I could do is visualize all the friends she was talking to over the phone about how great she was. And I was so pissed off. Then a couple weeks later, Kill Rockstars approaches me and offers to record my next album. And I go, hell yeah. They go, are you ready? Oh, you know I'm ready. And I got the perfect album cover. So now when you see my album cover, it's a ruined cup of coffee. It's a spilt cup of coffee, pretty much, to represent the cup that she ruined on our special day. Also, in that picture of a spilt cup of coffee, I have also put in a hidden breastfeeding breast. It's an optical illusion. So when you first look at it at first glance, you'll just see a cup of coffee. But the second you see that breast on that album cover, you're never going to stop seeing that breast. Man, Nate, that's a lot of effort. Why would you do all that? Because I'm very petty. Okay? And I'm more than willing to spend somebody else's money to get back at a person I'm probably never going to see again. I'm telling you, I've had dreams about this, man. I know exactly what happens. Like, it's my dream that my album gets so popular that people just start buying it for other people, and one of her relatives buys it for her. She sits down. She's, ooh, a cup of coffee. That's interesting. I love coffee shops. She listens to the album, and every track, she's like, oh, this guy is telling it like it is. I like this guy a lot. He's so hilarious. Until she gets to this last track. And this point, this last second, and then she flips over the album cover, looks at it, she goes, shit! And then her head explodes. I don't know if that would happen. That's just how it always ends in my dream. Anyway, that coffee shop got gentrified and turned into a high-rise apartment building for dogs. So, if anybody has any suggestions on a good coffee shop, I would love to hear them. Thank you guys very much. My name's Nathan Brannon. Have a good night.